For those of you who take the time out to order one of these from the bookshop at Walsingham, or even come to the Diary of Tour at Westminster, reminder of the dates before I get told off by anyone. Thursday, March the 31st to Sunday, April the 3rd. Okay. The inside front cover of this book, we have a vision of a young man called Dominic Savio, who was 15 at the time. So this is a narrative. In 1857, St. John Bosco related to Blessed Pius IX a vision of St. Dominic Savio. One morning, while I was doing my thanksgiving after Holy Communion, I was taken by a strong distraction. It seemed that I was on a very vast, flat land surface, full of people surrounded by thick darkness. They were walking, but did so as though they had lost their way and could not see where they set their feet. Someone beside me said, "This region is England." Okay. A people surrounded by thick darkness, walking, but as though they had lost their way. That is England today. Lost our way completely. Then I saw the Supreme Pontiff Pius IX. He was dressed in majestic fashion, carrying in his hands a splendorous light, and advancing amidst the multitude of people. As he advanced, the darkness gradually disappeared, and the people were bathed with so much light till it seemed noontime. The friend said, so Pius IX said, this light is the Catholic religion which must illuminate England. That's a vision of a 15-year-old boy which was taken to the Supreme Pontiff Pius IX, who is going to be instrumental, according to this vision, in the conversion of England. But also I think his successor, Pope Francis, might, and in fact Pope Benedict XVI, Pope John Paul II. Pope John Paul II came here in 1978 and did some very significant actions. Pope Benedict XVI came here and did some significant actions. Pope Francis should also be instrumental in the conversion of England to the true faith. Pius IX said to Don Bosco, "This narration confirms in me my determination to work without rest in favour of England, which is already the object of all my solicitudes." So my thing when I read things like this is we need to invoke the intercession of Pope Pius IX for the conversion of England, because he was walking in the nation, bringing the light of the Catholic faith to this land. The Catholic faith without compromise, undiluted. Now, there is another story of a Russian monk who was meeting a widow, and this widow, the Russian monk was a bishop, and he was talking to her. This was way back in 1907. And he was talking to her about Russia. And he said, demons will invade Russia and will destroy the faith of Russia, but it will be restored again. That's happening now. He then went on in the same narrative to say, Britain will lose its empire. Well, that happened. I mean, in 1907, who could have imagined that happening? But it happened. Stripped away through World War I and through the decisions of Queen Elizabeth II, who gave people their land back, or gave nations their power back. The empire was stripped away from what was seen to be one of the most powerful nations on earth at the time. Massive empire, stripped away. Britain will lose its empire and will be brought to its knees. We haven't got there yet. Now, the next line of this prophecy is for the ladies. So if you're a man watching this and you've got your wife around, give her a shout. She needs to hear this. Especially the Catholic women or the Christian women of any denomination. You need to hear this prophecy. England will be brought to its knees, but will be saved by the praying women. Ladies, you have received a divine prophecy. This nation will be brought back to the faith through the prayers of the praying women. Forgive the finger wagging, but you need to get this. The ladies need to get this. England will be saved through the prayers of the praying women. When I'm talking about this, I'm reflecting a lot on the wars, particularly World War One. In World War One, it was all the young men going off to war, 16, 17, 18-year-olds. They got in illegally. They weren't supposed to get in, but they got in illegally. The young men, the 16-year-olds and what have you, they all went out to fight in their millions. And that was a bloodbath on all sides. Young men being wiped out, being used as cannon fodder by aristocratic officers. It was outrageous. What helped those young men was the women who were sorting out letters in this country and making sure they got to the right person on the front line. That was an incredible achievement. I read about it a few years ago. It's incredible what they did. The women who were making the bullets and the guns and the bombs in factories all over this country. The women who actually went over to France and were nurses and were helping and cleaning and repairing the damage that these young men had suffered. The battle these young men did was sustained massively by the women who were behind them. I'm getting quite emotional as I'm talking about this because I'm an evangelist and I go out to battle. I've been going out to battle for 30 years. And for the last 5 years, the Lord has given me a respite, but now I'm getting ready to go back into battle. And I know the only way I can get out there and bring the gospel of salvation to souls is if I've got the prayer power behind me. I'm pointing at the Divine Mercy by accident here, but I'm actually also pointing at a beautiful statue of Our Lady right down here. You can't see it. It's a beautiful statue of Our Lady. And it's the praying women who are going to bring the nation back. I'm an evangelist. I will go out and proclaim the gospel, but really it's the prayer power that brings the souls back. The prayer power. Jesus says, pray the Lord of the harvest to send labourers into the harvest. Yes, the labourer is prepared to go, he's ready to go. There are other labourers ready to go. But the praying people behind us, and it's been prophesied, England will be saved by the praying women, not the praying men, the praying women. Ladies, we need you on your knees with your rosary beads, with your praying in tongues, with your worship, with your adoration, with your masses, with your fasting, with your doing penance. We need you. God needs you on your knees praying for the conversion of this nation. How many of you have actually given yourselves to say, I am all about the conversion of England? I have to tell you, I am. I've consecrated myself in front of an image of Our Lady of Guadalupe for the conversion of England. I've offered my life for the conversion of England. That's what we need. We need people who are going to offer their lives for the conversion of England. Fiat voluntas tua.